So hello and welcome to my next chess game. This time I show you the game between Komodo 12 versus Wasp 2.0, and I let them play the Berlin defense with this Queen E2 move. And this arises after the moves E4, E5, Knight f3 attacking the pawn on E5, Knight C6 defending, Bishop B5, the Ruy Lopez, and Knight here. The Berlin defense with Queen E2. And now let's see what we get there. Wasp is calculating currently the move Bishop C5 and played the move Bishop C5. So let's say castles by Komodo. Followed up with A6 probably. Bishop takes, pawn takes, and we have this position where this pawn could be en prise. Knight here attacking the pawn, d5, knight here, pawn here. Rook there doesn't work because of bishop check winning the rook. So, but okay, Komodo won't take the pawn probably because this is equal. So probably something like knight c3, castles. Let's see if rook e1 is any good. d4 takes, knight takes, bishop takes, rook takes, queen takes. I don't know, but currently this could be threatened. So probably not castles here, but defending the pawn via this bishop here. h6, bishop there, a5, bishop here, counter-attacking this pawn. So if this falls, then we would have this queen here, or even immediately taking there, followed up with taking there, and queen here, attacking the knight. If the okay, you could take the bishop there, that's true. So then you are up material. So bishop g4 probably not working. Let's see. So you have to defend the pawn, knight here probably. You could go knight to here, to there, but I think this is somewhat bad. But let's say b3 to fianchetto the bishop, bring it on this long diagonal. Let's see castles then, bishop here, rook e1, bring the knight back probably. Knight here, bishop there, now d4, takes, now knight here, attacking that pawn, also attacking the knight, so defending the knight, but then rook takes here, and I don't see the compensation for white, so probably d4 doesn't work. Let's see how Komodo is handling that position with MCTS. I let them play so with Monte Carlo tree search against Wasp 2.0, as you see there. Let's see, we have to move castles, and Komodo is instead of a3 we have to move castles. Komodo is planning to go c3, rook fe8, so that after takes, and d4, takes, you could go here with the rook attacking the queen. So that's the idea. So probably d3 after rook e8, d3, preparing bishop here maybe, so h6, preventing this. And now knight there, takes, bishop takes, knight takes, still not working, but you can go knight here to attack the bishop. So let's say you pin the knight, h3 going there, knight here going there. And now you could play the rook here, planning to go d4. So a4, d4, a5, kicking the knight, so knight here. And if bishop takes, then pawn takes, unveiling an attack on the queen. But black got this expansion on the queen side in, so you could argue that queen here might be a good move. Attacking this pawn. And it's not that easy to defend that pawn, actually. So let's see what Komodo comes up with. We have this rook e8. So pawn here. Maybe queen there to defend the pawn. But then the rook comes in here. Say takes, takes. b5 takes en passant. Takes here. Rook check. Is this something for black, or just bishop here and there is nothing? Probably there is nothing. You could go there. Takes, takes. Bishop here. Takes, takes. We have to move d3. Takes, takes. And we're in this position currently. And this is probably even. So there should be some improvement there somewhere. We're currently on that position, d3. Now, no, we're currently in that position. d3. a6 is calculated, takes, takes. And bishop to g5 I will play. To pin the knight after h6 to just go back. Probably going here next. Let's see, black does nothing, expanding on the queen side. Takes, 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 takes. Rook here, pawn there. Okay, this doesn't work for white. So, but you can just prepare this with rook e8. Now bishop here, maybe. d5, takes, takes. Bishop goes back. By the way, you cannot take there in between, because then just queen takes, knight takes, bishop takes, rook takes. Okay, you probably could do that. Now you're currently up a piece because you cannot take here because of rook takes there, check. And this is leading to mate. So you could take there. And so before all that, you kind of have to develop the knight, probably to here. Then bishop takes, pawn takes, and c5. And now this bishop becomes alive. Okay, we don't have this. We don't have a6 here. We have to move d5 immediately. Striking in the center, and bishop g5 by Komodo. Let's see both evaluations right around here. So both engines are thinking that this is equal. Komodo with MCTS, with Monte Carlo tree search, and Wasp without it. So currently both knights are pinned. But let's see. Pawn takes, pawn takes. There is no knight takes. And the rook is coming to the e-file. So I don't know if this is healthy for black. Knight coming in there. a6. Let's follow this a little bit through. Knight here. Bishop goes back. And white's position should be to prefer. Bishop g5 we have. And now the move a6. So probably bishop takes or bishop a4. b5 and bishop here. I would go. Bishop a4, b5, bishop bishop b3 is what Komodo thinks is a good move. Bishop b3, okay. What about a5 here? Let's go a4. If takes, then you could take with the knight, with the bishop, again pinning this pawn, so bishop, this knight, so bishop here. Now the knight can develop. If pawn takes, the knight takes here, bishop has to go back. And this position, no, not this. This position should be better for white, winning a pawn there. So probably not taking. We have this bishop a4. Bishop a4, d takes, now calculated, followed by d takes and b5. So bishop here, rook fd1, b5. Yeah, you could also go rook fd1 to kick the queen. Bishop to d6 then. Then probably bishop to b4, going after this weak pawn here. Yeah, white should have something here, small edge. I like white's position here. Let's see. Yeah, both engines thinks it's around, thinking it's around equal. So pawn takes. D takes e4 and rook there. So let's see. We are currently at that position. D takes e4. Pawn takes e4, of course. And now let's see, bishop to d6. No, this drops a pawn. So bishop d7. Rook here, pinning the bishop. b5, bishop here, a4, a5 I mean, b5, c4, takes. I don't know if what you want to take. If you take with the pawn, yeah, probably pawn takes is best to not allow the knight this square, but the knight can go here to here. That's also not bad, hitting this e5 pawn. So let's try this, knight here. And you also have a passed a pawn, so this position should be good for white. So let's not go a4, a5. So pawn takes, and now b5 is calculated. Immediately b5. Here instead of b5, rook here, bishop there, and bishop here. Followed up with a5 most probably. a5, a4 could always be an idea here. Bishop d7. Now what? This is covered, the knight and the bishop are pinned. Let's say you go there, attacking the bishop. Okay, the bishop moves back. Now probably this bishop also moves back, trying to go c4, but then b5 hits and a5. a4 I mean. Pawn takes. Yeah, probably bishop takes is even better, threatening the knight. Threatening the knight because the bishop is pinned. So let's say knight here, you have to defend the bishop somehow. Now bishop takes, knight takes. Now both knights are pinned. And you could go knight takes here, threatening this poor knight over there. And this should be bad for black. So playing on the queen side like that is not healthy. b5, rook fd1, rook fd1, probably followed by queen e7. This is probably best. And then bishop c2, going all the way back to add more protection to this pawn right here. Maybe preparing b4 and a4. And maybe even c4 after the knight jumps to a3. Maybe even c4. So let's see. h6, bishop there. And now what's the plan here? Bishop here, a5, pawn here, and b5. You don't really want to take, but you don't really want to allow white to take here, so pawn takes, probably bishop takes. Now the knight is pinned to the rook. And c4, b5 is coming, or c4, c5. What's black's move? Black goes here probably. Knight there. Rook takes, and rook here. Probably rook takes, queen takes. No, not bishop here. Let's go b5. No, not b5. b5 also not. Let's go knight here. Probably attacking the bishop and also the pawn here. So we have to take care of the pawn. Then taking off the bishop. Probably taking off there. And maybe playing c4. Creating a pass. But then this pawn hangs. But okay, probably you get some attack here on the king side with knight here and queen there. I don't know. It looks interesting, but there is a mate, or not really a mate, but this endgame should be lost for white. So there has to be a move invested with h3 after all that. So probably b5 and now h3. b5, a4. Don't know about a4. a4, a5. Pawn takes there. Rook takes there, takes there, takes there. You have the exchange down, so this doesn't work. So a5, pawn takes. But if you take there, then knight takes comes. I don't know. So a5. a5 should be a good move. You have to take this pawn. Now knight takes, and the knight is coming into c4. So probably b4 is not that great of a move. After all. Bishop b7. So let's go h3. Okay, we have different line. We have the move bishop going back there. D takes e4, d takes e4, b5, rook here. No, we have this rook bishop here, pawn there, rook here, and bishop goes back to d6. And now bishop to h4. And let's see both evaluations right around here. Komodo thinks now it's a little bit better for white, this position. But okay, the knight can maybe go to here to there. But if it tries to go here, then b3, stopping any knight coming in there. But then c4 maybe. But okay, you have always this knight takes here. No, you don't. You don't, because the rook is also on it. So, but what is the knight doing there? b3, probably knight here, trying to go c4, but then c4 by black, attacking the knight. c5, counter-attacking the knight hops back. But who has gained something from this? Is there a knight sacrifice? Queen takes bishop there. Yeah, probably not. So I don't know about this knight a3. Knight here to here to here to here, also an idea. So knight here to here to here to here, or to here to here. Let's see, either on this square or on that square, to this square over there. So let's try it. Knight here, but now the bishop is not pinned anymore. You can still go c4, knight goes back, knight g3, now the bishop is again pinned. You can also go a4, let's go a5 here. a3, pawn takes, rook takes, rook takes. Yeah, but this position shouldn't be bad for black. Oh, we have a different move. We have the radical g5 here in that position. Bishop d6, queen here, and now g5. So bishop goes back to g3. Probably. What about knight takes? Überschreiben. Pawn takes, bishop takes, now using that pin and planning queen f3. So let's say queen here, king there. Yeah, I think everything holds here for black. So that's why bishop g3 should be played here, but this is radical measures. Knight h5, trying to maybe go f5 also, but this is very radical play. 5 f4. So let's see both evaluations right around here. Yeah, Komodo thinks this is not that bad for black. So let's see. Bishop g3, rook a b8 is what Komodo thinks. So this move, knight h5, is Wasp's idea. Followed up with a4, b4, knight d2. This is Wasp's line. Queen e7. Knight d2, c4, attacking the bishop. Okay, the bishop doesn't have many squares. Bishop e6. Then and bishop to d3. This is the line Wasp gives. What about taking here? Okay, you strengthens black center, but you got the bishop pair. And now you can just double on the d file, most probably. Rook here, pawn here. Of course you don't want to take there and allow knight takes b5. And black also doesn't want to take there because this is now very useful, this c pawn. But okay, we have knight h5, a4. So let's see, what can black do there? Is d6 on? Pawn takes, rook takes, bishop takes, rook takes. No, d5 is not on. This is a backward pawn, and you always have to worry about things like bishop takes there. But currently the knight is holding the rook is holding the rook, and the queen is holding the rook, so there is nothing. But you can go your bishop there, go king here, and plan an attack on the king side. This could could be an option. Okay, we have the move a4 here. Okay, as planned. b4 and knight d2. Followed up with queen e7, bishop e6, knight e3. So this is the line. Given bishop e6 and knight e3. Yeah, this is also nice. Here, preventing any f5 push. Also maybe planning to go knight f5 at some point. Okay, let's say bishop, knight takes, pawn takes. I don't know. Okay, the knight is very well placed here. b4. Let's see what Komodo comes up with. Knight to d2. Very interesting game this. Have to say knight to d2. Okay, we're currently in this position. What are the ideas for black? Let's say you kick this knight. Okay, the knight wants to go there anyway. Now both knights are looking on f5, so probably not g5. But you have to take g4 into consideration for white. Planning to go knight here anyway and take with the g pawn. And what are the plans for black? Let's say you really want to push f4. Then g4. No, f5 can't be a plan here. So let's say you put the rook on the open file. Pawn here, planning to go knight there. But this also stops any queen infiltration. So maybe even knight here. As curious as it looks, but it prepares queen here, and you can always go back with a knight, preparing g4 and knight to g5. Let's take this into consideration. What is white's plan? Knight to here doesn't do anything. This square is currently covered, but okay, knight here, knight there, knight here, knight takes, bishop takes, and queen takes here. Okay, this cannot be the option. So let's say you go there with the king. Then this one, that one, and the knight is coming in here, threatening this pawn again. So you have to take, pawn takes, and now knight here is a terrible threat. Okay, if you take here, knight there, taking the rook, queen takes here with check. The king has only one square to go to, and now knight here would win at least the queen, but let's say knight here, queen goes back, threatening e6, so yeah, this should be lost here. Also the rook can come to the h file, so knight here, knight takes. This is kind of useless. Let's see, but we have queen e7, so we are currently in that position, king e7. Now a5 is calculated by Komodo, so leaving that pawn kind of isolated, but it's currently protected by the knight and the bishop, so there is no problem here. a5, knight h5, f4, attacking the queen. Bishop takes, g takes, or even this one to threaten this pawn right here. e4, but well, threatening it is a strong word. It's defended 3 times, so probably after knight f4, taking there. But I like Wasp's idea with knight here to here also. Let's see what Komodo does here. Rook e8 to d8 is Wasp's idea now. Rook to d8. followed up with bishop b3, going on to that diagonal. And bishop c8 to d7, finishing development. And yeah, this is a very rich position here, what we have on the board. This a5. Let's see how Komodo wins this. It's currently on 0.47. Oh, 70. No, not 74. 47 is correct. Rook a to d8, rook e to d8, follow up with bishop e7, bishop b3. Yeah, we have this. Komodo now switches, plans to knight c4. Let's say you want to keep the bishop, knight here. Say you want to give it up. Jump in here with the knight. Pawn takes, queen goes back. Maybe the knight jumping here to here. You don't really want to take this, but bishop here might be a terrible pin. Bishop goes back. Now what? I don't see much advantage for white here. Lead is knight here. You don't have to take it. Can also play h4. Yeah, pawn knight takes here, loses a piece. So knight here, let's say. h5 to not lose a pawn, but you lose that one. But okay, let's see. Bishop e6 is now what Wasp is calculating. So bishop to here, taking the knight, but the knight wants to go there anyway. Bishop e6, rook ab1. Yeah, Komodo's line is currently taking bishop e6 and rook b1, which is also interesting. Now both rooks are on open files, so that's very nice play by Komodo. But we don't have this. We have bishop e6 immediately going after the knight. So let's say bishop c2 a4 could be played going after this knight right here. This hasn't got many squares. You could probably you could take here, okay? Take there. Now it's attacked twice, so it has to move. And now what? Queen here. There is e6, but this you can take, and queen takes. So this attacking the rook, so the rook has to move also. Here we have bishop a4, bishop takes c4, queen takes c4, and queen here, rook a7, let's say. Yeah, but now you could capture here, because if capturing there, then the rook hangs with check, and after all this, also the bishop hangs with a terrible mate threat. So you have to play this, and the bishop just goes back, attacking the rook. Also, you could take the knight and be happy here after c6, but this is also quite nice. With bishop here, now you have to take, and rook takes here, knight takes there, and we don't have to analyze this. Two rooks versus a knight. So okay, we have bishop takes c4. Game is currently on the queen side. Queen takes c4 and knight takes e5. What? Knight c6 takes a5, attacking the queen. So let's see how this one works. Let's see both evaluations. Komodo is on zeros it, and Wasp is not very happy with its position. So knight takes a5. What about queen here attacking the knight? It's a big deal. The knight has absolutely no squares. We could go to knight takes a5, knight d5, knight takes g3. Okay, knight takes g3, you can insert that move. H takes g3, b takes c3. What about just taking the knight here? Pawn takes rook here, rook there, queen takes there, rook here, queen there, rook there, queen there. Okay, this pawn, I don't think it's compensation for a piece, but okay. Knight takes g3, knight takes a5, knight d5, c5 is probably what should be played, but then d takes, and you cannot take back because of pawn takes here. Knight takes, queen e2, queen d5 followed by c5, g takes, bishop takes e5. Knight here c5, bishop takes, bishop takes, takes, knight takes here. What? This cannot work. But queen e2 is also not the greatest. Queen d5 has to be played, I think. Queen d5, c5, c5, bishop takes e5. Okay, we have the move queen e2 instead. Let's see if Komodo has compensation for the pawn. Komodo, both engines think that it's compensation for the pawn. So, okay, currently knight takes here is a threat, followed up with queen takes here. So b takes c3, you can insert this. B takes c3, b takes c3, and king g7 is what... What about this kind of continuation? Queen here, bishop takes, pawn takes, and queen takes here. Very interesting kind of stuff. Knight takes e5, queen e2, pawn takes, and rook a b8. So the Monte Carlo version of Komodo, I don't know. If Komodo doesn't win against Wasp 2.0, why have I bought it? But Wasp 2.0 is not that bad of an engine. Probably knight takes g3 after pawn takes, knight takes g3, h takes g3, and bishop going back to c5, followed up with bishop to c2, attacking the knight, so the knight goes back to c6. And this pawn does a very good job of controlling bishop and knight, so these squares are not available. This one, these two squares. So knight takes g3, h takes g3, and king g7 is what Wasp thinks. So king g7. Bishop c2. Knight a5, b7. Maybe trying to go in here to add pressure to this pawn. Also preparing c4. And black has an outside pass pawn. Okay, it's far from winning, but let's see how this turns out. I think queen d5 was the correct move to go. I have to ask Stockfish later. Knight takes g3 we have. And now h takes g3. Most probably bishop c5, bishop c2. Rook takes d1, rook takes d1, and c6. This is what Komodo, the Monte Carlo version, thinks. So okay, we have this, knight takes a5, queen going back to e2, b takes, knight takes g3, h takes g3, bishop c5, bishop c2, rook takes and c6. This is what Komodo thinks. Okay, we have opposite colored bishops, so the endings might not be that terrible. So I don't know. Let's see both evaluations. Okay, both are on probably equal, are equalizing this position. This is Komodo's MCTS line. So we are currently at this moves. Knight takes g3, h takes g3, and now king g7. Followed up with bishop c2, unveiling an attack on the knight. Knight b7. Rook takes e8. Knight b7, rook takes... What? Rook takes e6. Followed up with rook takes e6. What? Followed up with knight c5. If you take this, what's the problem? Don't see it. Okay, you could take here, but you could take there instantly. Rook takes, knight takes, rook takes a6. Yeah, rook takes a6, not e6. Thought this knight c5, because otherwise it wouldn't make a lot of sense, and this position should be around equal. This is really around equal, this position. Okay, both engines have reached blitz mode, probably. Okay, we don't have this. We have king g7 and rook to d5, attacking the knight that way. Let's see, knight b7 and bishop c6. This is also strong. Knight b7 and knight fd2 is what the Monte Carlo Komodo 12 MCTS thinks, with slight advantage to white. But this cracking this Berlin is very hard. After this, I don't see the advantage because you could just play your rook there. Okay, takes, 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 knight c5, attacking the queen. So the queen has to go back to defend the e-pawn. And I don't see the advantage here. Knight f3, h2 is now the thing what Komodo thinks. Knight here, knight c5. Knight g4. I would play queen here and only then knight g4. But after queen here, this pawn hangs, and after knight g4, there is this move, attacking the rook and defending on h6, so this might not work, so knight g4 immediately. Knight takes, bishop takes, doesn't work. Knight takes, bishop takes, rook takes there also doesn't work. You have knight h2, knight c5, knight g4, queen e6. Queen e6, bishop c6, attacking the rook. So let's say the rook moves to the open file. Rook b8 and then queen f3. And there is something brewing here for the pawn. Queen f3, there's always this lurking threat of queen f6, followed by this if the queen wasn't there. So also you can maybe double on this file. Let's see both evaluations. Let's see if there is compensation for the pawn. Yeah, Wasp and Komodo, both engines think that there is compensation for the pawn. So we are currently at that position right here. So let's see. This is the current board position. Knight g4, queen e6, bishop c6. Both engines are giving this line. Rook b8 and rook d5, d1. Is this also rook d5, d1, queen g6, knight e3. Oh, the knight is heading towards this f5 square. This is awesome. So the rook comes back. Queen g6, going after that pawn. Queen g6, bishop, okay, bishop to d5. Also adding some pressure to this pawn. This bishop does a very good job of defending this pawn. The knight will come here. The queen might come there. King here, rook there, king back, and this could be some attack here. There could be something brewing. I'm currently at that board position. Queen g6, bishop d5, rook b6, queen f3. So let's see both evaluations right around here. 0, 0. So both engines think that this is defendable for black. And queen e6. Let's see c4, making some more grip on the position. c4, queen here. I don't like this that much. Knight g4, queen here, queen there. What about queen g6 here? Okay, you could take there, attacking the queen, but the queen can take here, take there, take here. Then the knight jumps in here, attacking the rook. So let's say the rook moves to defend the knight. Don't know. I wouldn't go for this if I were white. We have queen f3, rook b8. Now, if this queen f3, rook b8, I would go for queen g3 to attack this pawn. Yeah, but probably after queen f3, queen g6, there is this move, bishop here, defending the pawn, also attacking this, so probably defending right there. But then the knight can hover back and go to this square with a check. And this could be very dangerous, so let's you don't want to. Okay, let's go with this one to here to defend the bishop. Check. Queen here. Rook there, and white has a very good grip over the position. But is it enough? I don't know. There is still a pawn on the a file. Okay, we have this. We had knight g4, queen e6, and queen f3. Followed up with rook b8 and knight e3 or king h2. King h2, king g8, king g1, king g7. What? This is the drawing line he gives. King f8, knight takes e5, bishop takes e5, rook takes e5, rook d2. Oh, king h2 is a very brave move to do here. V8, knight e3. Knight e3 should be played in that position. Knight e3 to here, king there, king h2, knight e3 is also now Komodo's first choice, and played the move knight e3. Now king h8, going out of this check. King h8, rook takes e5. What? Rook takes e5, rook takes e5. Bishop takes e5. No, not in that position. King h8. What is the line Komodo gives? Komodo gives a move bishop f8, bishop c2, rook takes d5, knight f5 check, king here, and e takes d5, attacking the queen with an equal position. This is Komodo's line. I wouldn't be that sure if this is equal with queen here to come. You cannot go there because then you face this knight check. So probably going here, but then queen there. Let's say you go there, but then you go straight into a discovery. Knight takes here. We have king h8. Okay, this is an interesting position. Though knight e3, king h8, bishop here, and c6. We now have rook d5, d2. And let's see both evaluations. Komodo still zeros, and Wasp thinks it's better for black. But okay, there is something. Rook d2, king h8, g8 is now what Wasp thinks, and now rook d2, c2 is what Wasp gives as a good move. But g4 by Komodo. Probably there is an idea of going here. Knight there, queen there, and rook there, followed up with bishop here. This might be an idea. g4, rook d8, d7, queen e6, e8. So Wasp is kind of planless. I would go king here, or start with knight f5, threatening this pawn. What? King h1? What is this about king h1? Why not knight f5? Knight f5 would threaten this pawn here. And bishop f8. Okay. Bishop f8. Rook takes d8. Rook takes d8. Or queen takes d8 is what Komodo thinks is a good move. Now it changes its mind to rook takes d8. No, sorry. Queen takes d8 still. Knight c4 is what Komodo thinks, going after this pawn. So let's say bishop here to defend that pawn. Now queen f5 to really attack this. So you could either go there, f3 blocking in your own bishop. You could go there, this is probably better. But okay, this pawn doesn't hang. Still the knight is covering it. Not quite sure what's the progress here. Okay, we have different moves. We have queen takes knight here, king there, king there, king h2, queen here, now defending the pawn officially, bishop e2. Now probably going here with the rook. Let's see both evaluations right around here. f6 is what Wasp, or rook b d8. Rook b d8. King h1, I don't believe this. That there is really nothing to play for both engines. I would go for king g3. Say what do you want going after this pawn? Although the bishop is still eyeing it. Okay, we have this g3 now. Rook d8. So Wasp is kind of planless, and let's see both evaluations right around here. Rook a8, king g2. No, we have different move. We have knight a5, blocking this pawn from advancing, also putting pressure to that one. King here, rook there, to pressurize here on the h-file is still an idea. And bishop to c4 to pressurize this pawn. Oh, I actually have an idea. So let's say black does nothing. Bishop here, rook there, knight takes, queen here, check. There is only one square and this is mate. So there are dangers in the position. So that's why we have, after this bishop c4, we have this f6 move. Bishop c4, rook b8. Bishop f1, I don't believe. Bishop e2, I also don't believe. Find something better, Komodo. There is nothing. Okay, the king is on g2 already. How was this? Okay, bishop here, bishop there, bishop there. This is the current board position. Both engines are down on 3 minutes, and both engines are equal, thinking that this position is equal. Knight c4, rook b d8. Rook b a8 we have. Okay, now it's very fast, the game. Knight goes back to e3. Maybe now there is something going on with this knight f5. I would go knight f5 immediately, instantly. a5. So Wasp starts to push his pawn. Bishop e2. Or bishop c4. I would go bishop c4. It's the most active square for the bishop, going back there. So a4. Knight f4 check. Let's see, king there. Rook there. Komodo is brewing something. Rook there. Queen there. King f1. Okay, currently the knight is not on f5. The rook is here. The queen is there. And the king is there, so very weird play. Rook b8. Threatening to go there. King g2. Or knight f5. Endlich. Finally. Rook g6. King g6. King g2. King there. Knight takes, bishop takes, queen here check. Okay, the king can go there and there shouldn't be a problem. So there is no knight sacrifice. What? We have this knight sacrifice. Queen f5. King g7. Let's see if it is winning or if it is just drawing. It is winning, actually. This knight sacrifice is winning. Komodo got it. Finally, Komodo got it with this kingside attack. Now bishop here. What the hell? Bishop here. There. What about king takes? Then we would have this taking there. Check. Going in. I have to see this when it's on the board, but we have that one, that one, that one, and that one. And now we have this one. Followed up with queen h5, threatening to go there. It should be over here, really. It should be toast. Strong attack by Komodo. king here. Rook 8, no, not rook here, of course, rook here. Queen f8. Queen h1. Queen d6. Bishop c4. Rook h f7 attacking the queen. Knight here, rook here. Queen e8. What? Rook a7? Yeah, rook fa7 going after this a pawn right here. The king is in the center, so it's always a target. Now rook here. Queen here, check, finally. King c5. King is an attacking piece in the end game. Rook d7. Rook d7 if taking there. What's the big deal? Rook d7, what's the deal? King there, I don't quite see it yet. Okay, we have this, that. Queen takes b3. Queen here. I don't understand this game, actually. There are many questions I have to ask for Komodo. Rook d1. Currently Komodo is up a pawn, and Komodo's king is quite safe. Wasp's king is wide open. Rook a3, queen d2. Threatening queen to d6. Going back queen d6 anyway. Queen e3 check. Queen e2, okay, the queen goes back to c5. Not a draw. Queen f3. Going after d6, so queen f8. Queen e3 check. King c4. Rook d7. Infiltrating again. Queen here. There, queen f8. Let's see if Komodo finds a win. Quite curious about it. Now, queen f1 check. King c5. Queen h1. King here. Queen a4 check. King b4. Queen a6. Queen there, don't go for the queen end game. Queen b5. It's very hard to kill the king there. queen a4, queen here. I think Wasp gives a draw. No, both engines are on +3, but this is just shuffling, I think. Okay, now the rook and the queen have changed places. Queen here, okay, king c5 again. Queen a4. 6, queen b4. Rook there. Rook there. Rook there. King takes c4. Queen b4. Yeah, both engines are now unequal. Yeah, it was an attack by Komodo, but still. But with 7 seconds on the clock, it's very hard to find a win there. Here now you have this rook e2. c4 check, c3. Is Wasp even winning this? That's the question. Queen here, threatening mate. Threatening mate again. King there, rook there. Queen d2. You cannot accept the queen trade. So now rook here is the threat. Rook e2. Komodo still trying, but I think it's too late for trying something. If anyone wins this, then black. But I also don't think that black can win this. Rook here. Queen here, check. You have to go for the perpetual, otherwise this is just winning. So this is a draw. Very fine game. Very curious game, I have to say. I will make the same thing now with Komodo 12 without MCTS. Same opening I give them. So I have a couple of questions here. First of all, how long did they play theory? So c3, d6, h3 is theory, but d5 also is theory. b4, h6. Yeah, this is kind of interesting. This whole stuff here. Both engines really played a good game there. But where I was curious was after this bishop here. Knight takes, bishop takes, queen here, bishop there, and bishop here. This is what I wanted to ask Komodo, because this was Komodo's idea, not Monarch. So let's say you take this piece, new variation, then rook takes a6, h6, queen h8 is the top move. So let's go knight here, mate in 3, queen h7, king h7, king f8, queen g6, threatening mate. If you prevent this, then this is mate. So okay, queen g6, rook here, And here somehow Komodo didn't find the win. This is +2. This is still +2. Where was the win? This is +4. Now King C5, Queen E3. Yeah, the MCTS version of Komodo play is interesting, but it's probably not the best Komodo. And here it's that equal. You have to go for the perpetual. It's really hard to hold this though, but okay. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Ciao.